Hey, if you're anything like me, there are times when you dread going to family functions. Maybe it's Easter, maybe it's Thanksgiving, maybe it's just a picnic somewhere. But inevitably, you get asked the question of, well, why are you still single? When are you going to have a boyfriend? When are you going to get married? And if it's been anything like the last 30 plus years, he's nowhere to be found.
Welcome to I'm Scared of Church Girls Unscripted. And once again, in the car, sitting here in the parking lot at the awesome High Grounds Cafe of Sydney, Ohio. Because, I mean, there's no better place to be, naturally.
So, let's talk more about what do you do when you get to these family functions and all of your well-meaning, yet annoying relatives ask you this question.
Any of us singles that have been around for a while, especially when you're approaching 30 and you're beyond 30 and the infamous numbers, whatever, pick your number, you've had friends, talk to you. You've had family come and ask you the questions. You've had church people come and show their love and concern for you by simply just asking the question, so when are you going to get married? Well, yeah, you're right. I think it's a great question. It's a question I've asked myself. I don't necessarily need someone else to remind me constantly that I'm not married, but thank you for your concern. I love how people ask this question as if you can just go out and do something about it. Like, oh, when are you going to get married? Well, hold on, let me just go to Walmart, or let me go to Amazon. I could just order a bride, order a groom, and we'll just take care of that immediately. Yeah, pretty simple. You might as well just come out and say to me or you or whoever receives these questions as, is there something wrong with you? So, now remember, the people usually giving these questions are people who are already married and have families and whatnot. Because remember, when people were single, they panicked, they wondered if they were ever going to get married, they cried, they went through all the same things that we're going through now, maybe for less period of time or longer, it doesn't really matter. But it's amazing how once somebody gets married, they go from panic to I'm an expert all of a sudden on all things dating, marriage, whatever. When people give us something, we need to receive it differently. It's like Christmas, when you open up a package and you receive a gift that you don't really like, you don't really need, and you might even be offended by. But, you understand that the person that is giving you the gift is well-intentioned and they mean well. But for some reason, they really botched it on this gift. But you have a choice to make. You could take the gift, throw it back in their face, and say, I don't want this, and how dare you give this to me. Or you can, have a good attitude about it, take the gift, and just say, thank you, and walk away. Now, I have been in situations where I've actually witnessed people actually snapping at those questions. Listen, I'm fine. Stop asking me questions. I'm only angry when you remind me every single day of the very thing that I am very aware of every single day of my life, which is my singlehood. I was like, just go ahead and whatever you do, don't panic, don't get angry, don't go around punching people in the face, hitting people and slashing tires or whatever Carrie Underwood does in her song, because that's a great example of anger. But anyways, sure, we may have a desire to be married, but we're not necessarily walking around sulking and depressed and, looking for the nearest cliff to jump off of. I mean, come on. So don't treat us that way. And I think that's a lot of the problem right there. There's an assumption that we are not content with our lives. And you know what? There's a lot of people who are not content. I know there's a lot of people who are watching this video who are absolutely all of those things I just described. And I would just tell you, listen, you don't need to be that way. You need to be, you need to change your heart. You need to change your attitude and say, listen, I'm single. You know what? That's life. If I find someone, I find someone. If I don't, I don't. Meanwhile, God has given me this opportunity to be single, and I can do a lot of things with my life because I'm single. So those are my thoughts. Kind of all over the place, but I'm just kind of curious, you as the audience, how do you handle these situations? What do you do about this? Let me know. Meanwhile, talk to you later.